Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be looking at one of Therxy's games today. He submitted this to me, gave us a little bit of commentary on this. Says, feels like I did everything right. 3 transitions, reclaimed all the wrecks, 8 fusion, went T2 first, and still lost. So yeah, he asked us for some feedback. We're here to give it to him. Hopefully you all are too. If you like these kinds of videos, hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe. Consider becoming a channel member. It's a great way to support the Bar Pro League and Barcast TV, so thank you for that. So here we are on Prismatic Anomaly. I've actually covered this map in a bit of detail. Wait, why does that not work? Yeah, solar map, pretty large map. Not many great places for radar, so you have to add a bit of redundancy here. And his opponent is Baldric. He's definitely seems to have come a long way. He's already almost 40 OS, so shout out to Baldric, putting in the work. I've seen him playing a lot of practice games recently, so kudos to you. But we're here for our man Therxyy playing as the blue Cortex Commander. Opening up in the top left side of the map, I think it's a bit of a, just perhaps stylistic choice between spawning in the mid versus like one of the corners. I feel like I like the corner a little bit better, although the one downside is it's like getting a con over here is like pretty ridiculous. It's a bit tough if you lose that expanding con, so turn this sound down a little bit. So here we are, yeah. 3 mechs, 2 solars, vehicle lab, pretty standard stuff. And just go through this real fast. Check the build queue out. Okay, so rover first, don't hate that. Could probably just do 2 construction vehicles first, but I don't mind the rover. If you have a good idea of what your opponent's tendencies are, I don't feel like Baldric's like a super cheesy player or one to like do like weird off meta strats, so maybe you could skip that, but should be going, yeah, 2 solars after this. Excuse me, 2 solars to get the vehicle con out. Burning through that starting metal, keeping the energy low. I'm assuming we're going to be doing something. I see a lot of the similar same play styles. Like Commander does like something like this and just like heads to mid. Maybe put an LLT or 2 here. Yep, so Commander's walking out to expand. LLT radar. Maybe this LLT could be... Let me just double check this. I got this LLT here. And I don't see a reason why you couldn't make that a little farther forward. I've gone back and forth too about like skipping these even. I feel like this is just seems a little too close to the main base, but I understand like rovers and rascals. Like these mexes are a little like more valuable than what you like 2.1 seems a little like slightly higher than average. So I don't hate the LLTs, but I feel like you could maybe get away with not making them. Maybe like make them farther down here, right? But you have to go way farther with your commander to make those. But second con is out. It's going to be expanding. Same deal. Putting an LOT here. I like that. It blocks up this. And then we just continue expanding to the 3 mexes. So do get a scout on the other side of the map with no micro. Pretty hilarious taking out a rover there. And finally we start making rovers. All right, rascals. Should be in time to defend against this. I guess we're getting up this radar right now, so we're not completely aware of these rovers slipping in. But yeah, Therxyy is aware of it now. It's like this mech should end up going down, but gonna get one of the rascals for his trouble, and then I think he got the first shot on this one, so that should go down. But you gotta continue microing those. Maybe overmade energy a bit. Not the worst thing in the world. Just stuck on making rascals for now. You can probably zoom through this a little bit more. I'm sure a lot of the feedback comes a bit later. Ooh, I would have stuck on rascals a little bit longer, but we're going pretty greedy with the build power here. Compared to our man Baldric, he's already got his mine layer out. He just has 1 con expanding. Finally starting his 3rd con. Okay, so this seems fine. Making another solar here. And our commander walks to mid, yeah, like we saw. So I guess another con comes and expands like this. Something like that. Wait, hold on. I need to pause. Take a look at this. Okay, so we found the mine layer. All right, that's pretty good. I feel like we could have stuck on scouts a bit longer. We do have some metal in the bank, so 148 metal. Got decent energy income, about 200 per second. I would have liked to see about like maybe like five or six more rascals, and we do find the mine layer, so that works out well. Keeping tabs on the commander on the other side of the map, keeping tabs on the expansion, so this all looks good. We are stalling energy at the moment, but this Contour just finishes up. I would immediately start making some additional solars here with one of these cons. Just barely. And in these kinds of situations too, that were like stalling on metal so hard, I would make a round of rascals here just to get through this hump. Like, wait for a few more, or I guess at least one more mechs to, you know, turn online. But it seems fairly balanced. I would have been a bit more aggressive too. Like as soon as this con turret's turned online, maybe you could have like, yeah, 2 cons go to expand, 1 starts scaling energy, and then subsequent cons you need to add on build power. Just queue them up in the lab. Your con turret will finish those up. So we're seeing the scouts come out, or excuse me, tanks from Baldur. It cleared out our own scouts. Nice defense right there, pulling the con back. And here we go, yeah. 2 more expanding cons. This all looks good. Naked expanding, I don't hate that. Walking forward, making LLTs. This solar goes down? No? We'll have to see. This game's a bit longer. It's about 25 minutes long. I'm not sure if we have to review the whole thing, but we'll try and get as far as we can. And yeah, making another solar here. I feel like maybe 1 or 2. Oh, sorry, making another contour. I feel like 1 or 2 more solars before this contour, but it seems like we're still pretty fairly balanced. But of course, I would also like to just auto scale some solars here. Course, get a radar here as well. I think this is the problem with this map, right? Is like it's just so hard to get good radars up. Like this one here, right? It does cover up to here, it covers through here, but like things sneaking around like this, like have a bit of an easy time disguising themselves. I guess this this radar here actually does a decent job of kind of catching some of that, but still everything so far looks pretty good. Commander's going farther south. Maybe start going this way. I like making a second lab somewhere in this area. So I feel like if you like cap these 2 off, put 2 LLTs, you can make this forward lab right there a little bit better. It's getting close to that time. We're going to scout this. 6 tank run by. Still making solars. Like, pull the con back. Trying to get these walls put up. Okay, so far so good. One thing I would say is I'd like to see just a few more scouts like kind of present out on the map. I liked how we were keeping tabs on like where the commander was, right? Where his expanding cons were. I feel like you could have a few more scouts here and there, like keep one here. Of course, keep one here, right? That'll let you see him making a play for the construction vehicle that is going to be heading this way, which looks to be idle now. Yeah, so that's definitely a bit of a mistake. You want to put like 2 LLTs right here, a radar, and then continue expanding. Yeah, 3rd construction turret is a bit ambitious here, considering we don't have enough energy to support it. So Feel like here and there we're just missing like a little bit of energy, like just a few extra solars between adding construction turrets. I wonder, I don't know the exact math, but we seem to be, it hasn't been like too egregious. This forward solar seems a bit gross, but sometimes you have to do it. And the commander pulls back to presumably where a an attack is coming. All right, that keeps expanding. This con keeps expanding. Okay. Yeah, just another note on the forward vehicle lab here, or even bot lab for that matter, is it's just so popular for commanders to come to this area and like be spamming LLTs that like those quick like missile trucks or Roccos do a really good job of kind of contesting this area or shooing the other commander away, but this all looks pretty good. We stopped making this LLT. I don't know. Probably could have just finished it. But we got our energy storage up. Still making solars. This is all looking pretty solid so far. Protecting our cons. Ooh, this one probably could have headed back to our tanks, but it looks like it might actually end up getting taken out here. We'll have to see. It's gonna be close. And I got the body block for that. Yeah, I think it ends up going down here. Oh, so close. Yeah, it does end up going down, so a bit unfortunate. Yeah, this is a great spot. We have to put a radar right there, because there's just no way to know what's in this area. Put a radar there. Put a radar here, you know. Have a couple of scouts here, which we do, you know. Another energy storage, that's interesting. Yeah, presumably this is the commander here. Yeah, exactly. I would assume that's the commander, just based off of like the number of LLTs going up. Baldrick's got his A solars up, 2 construction turrets, so we're ahead on build power for sure. Still not switching to medium tanks or anything like that, so still kind of playing out that incisor game. Repair. A little too slow. I think this ends up going down. So maybe we can punch back and grab like all these mexes over here. It's gonna be close. And we are okay. We defended this fairly well. All right, so really just things keep on going well. Are replacing those expanding cons. I would have liked to have seen one come out to this area a bit faster. Like as soon as you knew that was going to be lost, like maybe you micro pack and then you just send a con out. Because you probably know it's going to be end up going down. Commander's a bit idle here. And do we get this LLT? It'd be huge if you did end up getting the LLT and then the con, but yeah, kind of a bit of a miss micro here, I'd say. Okay, more build power. Oh, this is so good. I wonder if he did that intentionally, like just stayed right outside of radar range. But you have to know this army is like sharking around, because like you saw the tanks come up there, so they have to be somewhere. Like you're not running into them right here, so. But yeah, now we see them on radar. That's going to be a tough to catch. And the commander's still idle here, so. Okay, we're going Shuris. This. My thoughts on air have been changing on solar maps. I feel like sometimes it could be a bit of a trap. Oof, I gotta sneeze here real fast, excuse me. Oof. Alright, another con goes down. So that's 3 so far this game, so Sorry, 1 second. Woo! Alright, so we're pulling Shuris, and I think this is like maybe where the game starts going south a bit, because you have to like build up Shuris. They don't trade immediately well into incisors, and we don't have enough incisors here to kind of shut this down. So finally we get these out into position. Commander's coming back to the main base. I really would have liked to have seen a forward lab right here, because you can just like pressure this position so easily with a few Roccos, and you just like make the lab, make like 5 Roccos, like have that resbot, 2 or 3 resbots even, come out of it, and then just reclaim the lab with the resbots, and you like move forward with your commander. So see, he's replacing his cons. He's got 3 expanding cons. Still haven't dealt with these incisors. I have 14 kills on them. Pretty strong. We are transporting a con, so that's like super value. 2 cons even. Really strong value there, I'd say. Okay, so that's working out so well. Maybe could have also invested in some air cons. Is Baldric going air yet? Yeah, he has his lab up now. Okay, here come the blade wings. Gonna get some stuns. Let me check this micro actually. Do you do? Okay, so one thing about Shuris, I'm not sure if everyone uses this, and it depends on the micro, but so we're just doing the move command. I like for these kinds of engagements when you do have support is just do like area attack like this, and then I think you hold T and they'll just jump between targets as they get EMP'd, but still a nice cleanup nonetheless. Oh, you gotta stay on top of the micro. All right. Looks good. Maybe a reclaim order over here before you go for the mechs. These are still not dead. This takes forever. Yeah, I definitely would have made an aircon at least, but here come the figs from Baldric. Even going for a bot lab. All right. Don't hate it. For some res bots. Was that 14,000 energy? All right, we spotted his figs, so you have to know to make some figs of your own, because like the Shuris are going to go down. The air cons are not protected. So really, I think the focus here should be splitting the map in half, right? Like this is how we need to split this map in half. So like this con here feels a little bit like ambitious, something like that. Like I don't think these mexes are going to stay online. Instead, perhaps I would have liked to have seen maybe just make some walls here, right? Make these walls. And that's going to let you contest this, because like your opponent's main base is here, right? So you can easily reinforce this area. This is much closer, not closer, but it's easier for him to attack up this lane, because like you don't have units like stopping him this way, so like your units have to come this way to defend. So I'd like to see like more of a defensive play on like this side. I know you are kind of like foregoing like attacking bottom left, but you've already done that and have to go on top of like reclaiming this, right? So this con naked expands. This con immediately starts reclaiming, or you just use your air con. I guess we have resbots coming over, but after these like round of resbots, I would have like reclaimed this, switched into medium tanks a bit sooner, because like he already has pounders out on the board. So we haven't seen medium tanks from him yet, but he is already producing them. This is a nice catch. And he has his own Shuris out, so do we res these? Okay. Don't know if I really like the res here, because you know the transition to medium tanks is coming up, so incisors are gonna kind of fall off, especially in this pounder heavy meta we see. But definitely would have reclaimed the lab here at this point. And switch it to medium tanks. I like to say around like 30 metal per second, or if you see medium tanks from your own opponent, but not the worst thing in the world. Let's see how this goes down. Metal produced. You're up on that. You're up on energy. Oh, excuse me. He's up on energy. And same thing for this side. I would just like put a wall here, put a wall across here, right? I don't really necessarily think going for this mechs is really important because like once again like he can just like 1, 2, 3 ways to slip into this area, right? Whereas like these are natural choke points, right? So further just kind of playing into we're splitting the map in half, we're contesting mid, right? So these walls are really going to help that. So mine layers can do some work. Do we have enough Shuris to take this on? Wait, okay, 11 Shuris. Now we run into the pounders, right? Yeah, I've been seeing this a lot. I don't really like care for this SimCity. So like all of this is fine to be like being next to the con turrets, but like this is not good. Like you're just blocking your units coming forward and like yeah, it's just not good. These are fine. So just be a little more cognizant to like scale your energy and main base like behind your labs. That'll improve your SimCity a little bit, but this is where I think this is like really truly where the game's going south because like look at his commander position compared to yours and just like our army quality diff, right? So he's got an army value advantage. Just 7 pounders right here already so far forward is a bit of a I think of a misplay by you. So you got to know like when you're in a stable position to start making these early because they do take a while to get across the map unless you have your forward lab, of course. So I know it's tempting to come back to the main base with your commander, but on this map, I feel like a lot of games revolve around like these big reclaim fields that end up forming. So you got to be able to be like present with your commander. Although it's kind of risky, I think it's a bit necessary because like you allowed him to get like these 2 positions here with a bunch of LTs and you had to trade out quite a bit of army to deal with those. And he still has this position here. So I really feel like one of the big misplays in this game was just not putting a lab here. So what was it? We came down here, went this way. I think we would have doubled back, like made the radar here to see like where his commander was or tried to stay on top of it. But if you were able to secure like these 2 mexes and this choke point, could have gotten a lab here, which would have done I think a much better job of contesting mid and shooing him off of this position, right? Because like he was just able to kind of freely just like walk here and expand, and he ended up getting quite a bit of metal too. I think there was some metal in here he ended up reclaiming from an earlier engagement, but finally now switching into medium excuse me, switching into medium tanks. I mean, even thugs are better against pounders, or decent against pounders and contesting reclaim fields. So maybe the bot lab here would have been better over a vehicle lab, just for like the thugs and the Rockos. But we're clearing out some mexes. Don't have the best air control in the world, but these Shuris are gonna get some work done, right? God, incisors are so good against Shuris. It's kind of crazy. Gotta stun the pounders. And stay on top of that fig production. Yeah, because like he has air control now. I don't know if he ends up switching into Shuris of his own. But we lost both of these cons, right? So yeah, missing a radar there. Let's take a look at this position. I mean, pounders are pounders are really good. I mean, he made pounders and moved them all the way across the map, right? So okay, we didn't end up reclaiming the bot lab. Gotta fight for these positions here. So like when I saw like this fight here and him even pressuring forward, like you have to come move your commander forward, right? At least to like lock down this choke point from him moving through, but it's going to be tough to deal with these pounders. Let's see how it goes down. Still have some raids here and there going across the map, which is good to have that presence of mind to continue doing that. Let's actually follow your player camera for a second. Okay, not a bad engagement. You rezzing or okay? Yeah, we're reclaiming. Good. Going T2. I think you have enough build power. Especially considering we want to be going for like fusion first. So what is this? Yeah, 8 con turrets is more than enough to get that done. You also have a bit of build power in your main base. What is this? An extra 5 cons as well. So I think you had enough build power here. Once again though too, like if you know you're losing mexes and whatnot, you have to like always be replacing that build power. So definitely want to continue sending out cons to retake these positions here. I know we have 1 here, we have 2 over here, but this is a good build queue. 5-1-1. Okay, do we go fusion first? Go 1 con. Yeah, you have to go fusion first on this map, I'd say. Especially with all this reclaim on the ground. What is this? 1,000 there. There's another 300. There's another 1,000 over here. Which this is great. We have a con moving forward. And does he go T2 here soon? I don't think so. There's the fusion. All right. Looks good. And we're just barely up on metal produced. So you can see how like he's really offsetting the damage he did to you by just like controlling more of the mexes, right? What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mexes I think should be yours right now. Or you should have at least capped, right? Okay, still no T2. It's making sure he's in res bots and figs, so I feel like you're a bit ahead. He does have some air cons out, which is really nice. Reclaiming this lab would have worked out for you. You could have finished the fusion and then reclaimed all your solars, which I see we're doing some of that now. Yeah, and this is the issue, right? Is like we went 2-2, we have our fusion up, but he has such like an army advantage, 100%, right? And it's like, how are you going to stop this army? He was able to continue to put pressure on here. So I think once we were in that position, right, where you cleared out that pounder army here, I would have stayed on medium tanks a little bit longer and at least try to like retake these mexes, right? 1, 2, 3, 10. Like all these mexes, right? Could have had like a group of medium tanks here, some medium tanks here, or pounders, and like try to work on the like defending, like we talked about, right? Like securing this, right? Suddenly he can only come through this part of the map, and that's just like so much easier to just like send all your like extra reinforcements here, knowing you have your flanks covered, right? So, and you also gave up air control, right? So I guess some of his army value advantage is in like this air or not, but he's getting a lot of value here because like you don't have any way to deal with the Shuris right now. I guess we're making some flak right now, getting back into air. But yeah, there's no way to stop this army here. Some mistakes I'm seeing in the main base too is being on top of reclaiming, because like we're right at reclaiming the solars. We're at 10% excess right now, which is I think like acceptable. But as soon as the fusion finishes, you need to be on top of reclaiming those solars. So like maybe just take the commander and like what is it, shift alt and like grab all those. So your commander goes and does it. So your con turrets are kind of, you know, doing their thing. Or you can like have like these two reclaim these two reclaim these, something like that. And then of course like the idle construction vehicles, right? What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like these could just be right clicked on this con and expanding, right? Or sorry, capping T2 mexes, which is probably best to start this one on its journey that way and then make subsequent T2 cons to come and like cap these mexes like through here. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so this is like a good arc for another T2 con to come. Maybe a third one goes like into mid, starts putting up like T2 point defense and capping mexes, stuff like that. But we're not quite able to like use all of this build power, right? Kind of overbuilt build power. Can't be like churning out tigers like super quick, and like this is like this ratio is gonna be going much higher here pretty soon, just because we're accessing about 1,000 energy per second, so it's not ideal. They'd finally shoo away this army, but it's like we got two issues. Like this one was like a big issue, but now it's like, how do you stop this? You should end up clearing out all this top right, and we have to make Shuris when we're behind on air, which never feels good. Just not gonna work out. Why are these moving so slowly? Oh, he's like moving them with the pounder. Okay. Not sure what command that is, but finally cleared out this position 20 minutes into the game. Balder's going T2 bots. All right. Yeah, this is a bit of a miss micro too. You should never be like taking, like theoretically, you should never be taking damage from medium tanks with tigers. They have such a range advantage on them. Even remade the T1 vehicle lab here. I'm not sure why. Maybe for some cons. Cheaper anti-air perhaps, but I had to remake some T2 anti-air, which doesn't feel good. He's on Bedbug Grunt. That's kind of hilarious composition. Okay, finally we're able to kind of respond to this in top right by like moving our tigers that direction. Okay, yeah, we did make this for the vehicle cons. And we have a banisher out. Banishers are really strong on this map. So the game's almost over, but it can kind of recap what we saw. Or the mistakes we saw. I think for sure, not going this way with the commander and kind of cutting off this like expansion path from him was one big misplay. I really did like the transporting the cons once we lost those, but another mistake I'd say was kind of like trying to expand into this area with two cons. Like he just killed that and res the construction vehicles. I think this is a res construction vehicle. No, might have ate it, but yeah, play a bit more defensive on the flanks, I'd say. So yeah, T1 walls through here, T1 walls through here. Stay on medium tanks. Well, transition to medium tanks a bit sooner, and maybe we can go back and kind of zip through where we could have like started making pounders at least when you're kind of stable in the incisor position. But stay on medium tanks and kind of delay that transition, because I've made this mistake so often in my own games, is like really like kind of feel comfortable like enough to go T2, but really it's more about like recapping those T1 Bexes. Yeah, because just to reiterate, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 T1 Mexes you could have like turned online, which is another like, you know, 20 metal per second, which really will help pay for that transition, or at least kind of put you on even keel with your opponent, because it's tied right now in terms of like metal income. But I really think you could have been much more ahead, because like he was kind of like trading on your side of the map. So like on top of like recapping these mexes and getting that extra income, you could have also like used that metal to put back into like medium tanks or make your own transition. Like resing up here was a bit weak, I'd say. I think there's a bit of a trap with res bots where it's like you think it's super value and it like wasn't necessarily like, it's not of like a contested reclaim field, so you're like you can just sit there and chill and reclaim the units. But I think for two reasons. Like one, it's like if your opponent still has tempo on his side, you can kind of consider that like a contested reclaim field, because like um it's not going to do anything for a while, and like you need units now in like certain positions. So perhaps like, you know, moving that metal back into your production over here and like making more medium tanks would have been a bit better, because like once you were resing these, yeah, we were like 15 minutes into the game, and like incisor phase is like way over at that point, because like I think you've already spotted the pounders, right? Retake, or like removing cons out as soon as you know they're going to go down. What did we lost a con down here, which I don't really care about that one. This one I feel like we could have sent a con out earlier to grab that, and then losing these cons over here. We had air control, so maybe you could have just like used an air con, but I think transporting the cons was probably a bit better, just to seem much more like stable. But no, we have two T2 cons out expanding. Oh yeah, sorry, just one last point is just having this forward lap here. It's so common for commanders to just go to this position. Like, you know, there's going to be value to get when he just makes so many LOTs. You know, you can just make like 5 Roccos or like 5 Lashers and just pressure this position. So a forward lab, either bots or vehicles, I don't care which one, both probably would have been good. And like, you got to retain units. So like, yeah, this is an ambitious raid. I don't think that's going to work out. And stay on top of like reclaiming your solars, right? Still at 10%, but I mean, you can pay for a second fusion with those solars, right? What's that? 3,300 metal. The fusion, I think it's about 3,000, right? 4,500. So pretty much could pay for the second fusion. Oh, he's trying to make the fusion back here. Okay, so he's making a bit of a mistake. He has enough ace solars, though. So I guess he can reclaim the solars. Any energy storage? Just 2, yeah. Even losing the Banisher, man. So the medium tank should really never happen, honestly. Guess we don't quite lose it here. But that's crazy he found your Shuri. He's like flying over flak. Okay, so not sure if it's like completely resignable here. It feels resignable because, I mean, you just look at your position compared to his. Got like a quarter of the map. Compared to this, right? Feels a lot stronger. Let me reload into this actually and see exactly when we should have like switched off of incisors or at least started making some pounders. And like you don't have to fully commit to them. Like you can make like 3 or 4 and then back into incisors. You just need to like kind of front load the movement speed to get them across the map where they need to be. But if you guys made it this far, hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe. And oh, I hit skip. GG. Wah, wah. Gonna be sitting here waiting for a second.
Battle started.
Okay, there we go. We're gonna zip through this real fast and just see like when we could have like stopped the making incisors and made some pounders. So I did like the open. You were pretty greedy with the build power, so that was nice. Could also escort this con with a mine layer. So it's like you grab this mech with the con, make an LLT here, like LLT here, 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 maybe here and here, and then the mine layer just puts in these walls for you. So that's gonna free up your commander to be this way. And then also, I know it's like tempting to move the commander back to the main base, but like so many games on this map are like won or lost by reclaim fields, and like you have to have your commander in position to kind of contest those. So I'd say if you know the game is moving off of T1, then you can probably move the commander back after that. But it's like be looking for like where a reclaim field or a big fight is going to be taking place, and like your commander, like it doesn't have to be there like degunning units. Like it's as simple as just like putting a vehicle lab or a bot lab right behind it and just like having like spamming thugs and res bots or like spamming pounders, something like that. But here we are 8 minutes into the game. Take a look at this position. Would have liked to seen a radar here, something like that, or here behind your little wall that we're making. But maybe it's a bit too early for the pounders now, but it's very close. I think maybe here I would have considered making them. And you know the commanders here making LLTs, so it's either make like 4 lashers and send them across the map. But I think in this position I would have started making some pounders, right? You have a decent army over here to protect this expanding con. Your production from the main base can like reinforce this area, which feels a little bit weak actually. We have some incisors on this side of the map, so I think that would have been a good chance to make those. And we missed this fight over here, which these got tons and tons of value. And I think that was just a function of like going for this air lab a bit too early. You really want to like Like Shuris are just like a bit of a value trap on solar maps, and like incisors deal with them fairly well, right? So you have to have like 10 or 12 of them to take on an army like this. So maybe just some extra incisors. But at least now you have to know to be able to be moving onto medium tanks, right? Or still on incisors. Made these red spots. I think that's fine. Hopefully I gave you enough feedback there. Therxyy, I think it's more or less like, yeah, don't make the T2 transition till like you've split the map in half. I know it's really tempting, like with the reclaim and like everything that's been going on the board, but like you have to have all these mexes to go T2. And it's like kind of an easy way to not remind yourself, but to like stay focused on what needs to be done. So like splitting the map in half, and like say he was going for a T2 transition while you were like remaking medium tanks to secure these positions. Like, I mean, you can always continue to scout your opponent, or if like you see the pressure is off, like try and like what is it, kind of like poke the defenses with like your own medium tank. So you're kind of returning the favor in some way. Like if you made a T2 transition, suddenly you're ahead on army value. So like you can start leveraging those medium tanks you made to defend your half of the map, right? And like I feel like it's a little bit easier to see that what am I trying to say? It's not as bad to see they've gone T2 and make your own transition and go for fusion than it is to make the T2 transition yourself and your opponent just wins the game because they have like a much higher army value diff, and you can never really like recover tempo enough to like secure your half of the map. So hope that helps, Therxyy. Looking forward to seeing you improve, get back to 50 OS. I know you're 50 OS. It's just like, you know, there's just a few things that need buttoned up, but yeah, keep sending another replay for review, and I'd be happy to take a look at them for you. So thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next cast.